I want to share with you my experience with ancestral healing. Where do I begin? This was probably the most important piece of my puzzle of healing, of growth, and of really knowing who I am. And let me start with this. I come from Tajikistan, from a beautiful city called Dushanbe, the capital of Tajikistan. Now, I was born in '89, but the Soviet Union broke out and we left. We left the country 2 years later because of the war, and we went to Moscow. And I spent a lot of years in Moscow until I was 13. And when I went to kindergarten, or when I went to school, my parents always told me, don't tell where you're from. Just stay quiet. And they trained my Russian, and they made sure I was an A student in class, just so that people would not say, oh, she doesn't speak good Russian because she's from there. And that, as a child, of course, now I realize, has put a lot of insecurities into me to where I come from. I felt that I should be ashamed of my country. I felt that we were sort of second grade, third grade citizens. I felt like I need to prove myself to be something else in order to not discuss where I come from. Then I went to study in England, and even there my parents said, just don't say where you're from, say you're from Russia. So my entire education in England, everybody thought I was from Russia, and I had a Russian passport, right? When I went to Edinburgh to study, I would start saying that I actually come from Tajikistan, and people would sort of, oh, where's that? Are you sure that country exists? Never heard of it. So there's obviously a lot of all the time, not attack, but a little bit of unconscious abuse from others towards where I came from. But also I kind of set that platform to them. I wasn't boasting about where I was from, and I wasn't telling them actually it's the most beautiful country and telling them the history and all of that. So I set the platform to it. Then I was, living in Dubai. Now, of course, here everybody's so international, everybody knows what Tajikistan is, and I would be a little bit more comfortable, but I would say, oh, but I am not connected to that country at all. I don't like it. I almost hate it. I don't like the culture. I don't like the people. I don't like the politics. I don't like the way they do stuff. It's so narrow-minded. The culture is just so restrictive, and I only go there to visit because my grandmother or my cousins or my mom was there at the time. I would only go there to visit, and whenever I did go, it'd be like for a short time, maximum 7 days, and every day of those 7 days would be painful, full of resentment, full of judgment of others, and just not really agreeing with anything on how they live, how they do stuff. So that has been me for 32 years of my life. Until in May, early May, I was, meditating, and my dad was going to Tajikistan from Canada, and I wasn't going to go see him there because I don't like the country, right? So I said, I'll go see him in Canada at some point. But I was sitting in my daily meditation, and somehow God put this message into my head, you have to go, you have to go. So I was like, okay, so I picked up the phone, I booked my flights for just 3-4 days just to see my dad with this sort of heavy energy of, oh, why am I going? And I only could go for 3-4 days because I had a course. Eventually that course got cancelled. So I thought, let me go for a little bit longer. I'm paying for the ticket, I might as well stay longer. So I booked it for longer, for another sort of 10 days. And a week before my flight, I went for a healing session with my friend Christina for essential oil reading, aromatherapy, I think it's called. So I was there, I picked up some cards, I picked up some oils, I sniffed what I liked, what I didn't like, I opened some pages in the books. And she sat there and she looked at me, and there's one common message in all of it. You need to heal your ancestral relationship. And when she said that, it was almost like it shook me so deep to the core that it was almost painful. And when she said that, I realized, yeah, I have to. How can I move on? How can I live my life forward if I'm not able to be proud of the people before me? So she made me all these oils to meditate with, and on the first day of meditation, I put the oils, I sat down, I spoke to God, and then I started crying. I realized how stupid, how ignorant, how rude I was towards the people behind me, towards the women before me. And I just cried and I cried, and I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. How dare I have thought like this about you? You've probably had more power, more strength, more resilience, more strong will in the conditions that you were living in. You were living in war, in famine, in poverty, with so many kids to bring up. And some of my grandmothers were, one of them was single. She lost her husband at the age of 32 with 4 kids, and she got her PhD in biology, and she just continued life. My other grandma has been with her husband for over 60 years, following him in the most difficult times in the Soviet time. And the women before them, they had the war. And the women before them had even more trouble. So how dare I disrespect them and think so little of them when they are probably grander than me, stronger than me by 100 million%. So whatever strength and strong will and determination I have in me today, and I do have it, it's not out of the blue. It's inherited from them. And I'm so grateful to that. And all I can do and all I could do in this meditation is just apologize and bow down for that strength that I received. I was so grateful. And so my meditations continued in that manner, just sort of lots of tears and releasing and just seeing so much that the women before me were the women of power. The land I was born in was such sacred land, 1,000 meters above sea level, closer to God, full of mountains, full of whispers of wisdom, because people like Rumi, people like Rudaki, the most famous philosophers and poets, have been born there, have walked those lands, have left their legacy there. And I should feel it in my cells and my skin and my DNA, and I do now. And funny enough, 5 days before my trip, I'm meditating, and God is telling me again, you have to go to the mountains. And I said, really? That means I have to extend my trip, I have to change my flights. I don't really want to do that, but I'll put that thought aside. Thank you, God. And that same day, my agent who was doing my visa for Dubai asked me to extend my trip because otherwise there'll be issues with my visa. So I was like, okay, got it. Call my mom, please organize a trip to the mountains. So the day I land in Dushanbe, suddenly it was all so magical, beautiful, serene, naive, pure. I was there for 3 weeks, and not a single day, not a single minute did I judge, did I resent, did I think negatively. All I saw was love, strength, people trying to heal, people trying to be happy, people trying their absolute best in their way and form. And who am I to judge? So I sat back and I observed and I observed, and I found so much wisdom in that. And when I did go to the mountains, and I was at this point at the Moon Lake, which was 5,000 meters above sea level, I kissed the earth and I expressed so much gratitude towards God, towards my life, and towards my ancestors, and I received all the blessing to continue on my path and really grab the opportunities I get in life by their balls, because the people before me, they didn't have what I have today. They didn't have the safety, the security, and just a simple choice, freedom of choice. I do. So it's my duty, I owe it to them to live my life to the fullest, to the best I can, and seize these opportunities as they come to me. The entire land, the nature, the animals, the whispers of this land have blessed me to continue my journey. And since I've been back, every day they're in my prayers. Every day I pray for the land and for the people of the land. Yes, the politics is still corrupt. Yes, things are not so easy there, but they continue. They keep going. And I can learn a lot from them. So this is such a long video. I'm sorry, but it's been a very powerful journey for me, and I hope you can resonate, and I hope you can question, why am I born where I'm born? Why did my soul choose that land? What do I have to learn there? What can I continue onwards from there? And I look forward to giving birth to my own children and telling them all about the beautiful country of Tajikistan and the land that I was born in. Whenever people ask me now, I don't shy away. I say I come from the most beautiful land on this earth. I'm so proud to be from there. That's my story, and maybe in part 2 I can tell you about the messages I received whilst there. I think that would be quite interesting too. Lots of love. Bye.